for the tempo of things, we just need to get better. Like I said, these guys right here gonna figure it out. They got a plan on what they want to do and how they want to see it, how they want everything to go. And I had to say they're just building this up to get to where they want to get to. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna give Reid and Nagy. I'm gonna give them a C plus.
Yeah, we're right there with you. Not we're like broken records on the show. It's run more, please. It's every week. So yeah.
Patrick, 24, 37, 210 yards, one TD. I think he had pockets and things where he was like really good, very decisive, did a great job commanding the offense where they wanted to go. And then there was times, obviously he wanted to try to make things happen with what it's Patrick, right? So we know anytime he has the ball in his hand, he's going to do something exciting, make things, look good. But Patrick did a decent job. He did a decent job last night. He almost had the one where it's an interception. And, obviously, it's like one of those things like you don't want to give it up. Like, hey, we don't need to start doing this again. But I think Patrick is still trying to get on some rapport with the guys around him, right? D-Hop, Worthy, and all those guys. And it's a good thing. Who looked young last night? Travis Kelce. Kelce looked young last night to me. I know we was talking about it, but I think that little bit of rest that the guys got, man, he looked like he got his legs back. He really did. And so that's a good thing to kind of see. But for Pat, man, when I seen him doing a little bit more of the RPOs, helped out tremendously. But other than that, I think he played a pretty decent game. These guys, we know Chargers, play them twice a year. It's always going to be a hard time. We understand that. Teams know how to play Patrick. They know what to do. They know how to get after him. And they always know what Achilles' heels is. And so what is that? Bring pressure or, trying to get forward and hit home, right? Keep him like, Antonio Pierce. Cage rush. What does that mean? Keep him bottled up. Don't let him use his legs against us. And when he does decide to step up, you make sure you have somebody in his face. That's what you need to do. So with that, man, Patrick, I think, did a decent job. He did a decent job. And I don't even say yes, man. I think he's still growing in some ways. But for what he gave, I'm gonna give Patrick a B minus. Give him a B minus actually.
Yeah, B minus. It's solid. Yeah. And again, we're basing this on Patrick Mahomes standards, guys. It's not like, and I've seen, yes, considering how he played last night with the 13 hits that he had on him and the amount of times he was touched, he played all right. But again, this is Patrick Mahomes standards what we're looking at here, and it's a B minus. Pretty much the whole season. I'll say this: it's kind of a B minus season for him as a whole, just based on what we've seen, come to know and love from Pat.
Yeah. Well, so G-Pick says no turnovers, O-line play probably caused incompletions. Said when he had lots under pressure, the final drive was clutch as well. Great as a B. Okay. The B minus to me, some of the decisions to hold the ball in his hand was a couple of sacks was on him, on Patrick. It's not getting rid of the football. So B minus, JD drove us down for the win. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what he gets paid to do. I don't expect anything less than that. So for driving it down, what else are we expecting? Every quarterback in the NFL that has a ball in his hand, if you are worth your salt, that's what you should do. That's why you get paid the big bucks. And so Patrick's no different. For him to have the ball in the hand at the end, that's what we want. So, yeah, he was rushed a lot last night. He definitely was, Fish. Definitely was. But some of the decisions kind of going downfield. And this is where like the checkdowns are so critical, where you need to utilize it even more. Because when you're pushing down the field, and you're looking for guys get open. Ball should be out right now to your running back or your tight end immediately. Hitch, ball. That's how it should come out. Okay, there's a clock in your head that goes off, and because Patrick does a great job, one of the best to extend the plays with his legs. Sometimes he doesn't see guys, retract what they're doing when they pass rush, and that was the game plan. Well, we can't get to him as soon as he pulls up. Retrace what when you pass rush, come back down and come hit him. And we'll get into the O-line, but they understand when they run these twists and these stunts and these pick plays. That's one of our Achilles heel. And what you try to do with that is communicate, pass guys off to your tackle, your guard, to try to keep somewhat of a wall. But they want to make sure they're going to emphasize, reiterate, to keep Patrick Mahomes in that little box, in that little cage all the time. That's it. That's what they want to be able to do. So, but yeah, for me, I mean, that's a B- from Pat, man. B-. At 210 yards, I'm expecting to shoot 300 and something out of Pat. So some things you got to get rid of. Some things you have to. So.
Yeah, B-, and hopefully room for improvement with this Cleveland Browns game coming up here. This leaky defense that we're going to be previewing on Wednesday. I mean, 300 yards, that should be coming in this week, hopefully.
So Andy Brown said, I think all the hits and not fumble and all the pressure and not throwing a pick was extra credit. No. No. But you don't get extra credit for doing your job. I mean, that's the way we look at it. You get extra credit for doing something more exceptional.
Yep.
I think because we've seen Patrick this year have ungodly amount of turnovers and picks, INTs he's been throwing. We need to expect more from that. I'm gonna give you credit when you bring an apple into the teacher. Okay, how about that? All right, or clean the chalkboard when you ain't supposed to. All right, that's how those things work. So, Pat, hey man, Andy Brown, that joker does his job. His extra credit is that contract he's getting. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna watch a little bonus paper coming in at 9:00 when you're on the clock at 9:00. He's got extra credit for coming in all the time. He wasn't there at 9:01. He was there at 9. Give him a bonus.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, look. I'll be the first one. Look, everybody said JD taking it to which said I'm the Brown. No, look, I'm the first one to pat a guy on his back. Okay, I'm the first one to do it. But listen, Pat is supposed to, and just like every running back, you're supposed to protect the football. You're supposed to make sure you're not throwing interceptions. There's things you're doing out there that you're not supposed to be giving up. Okay, so no, I get it. It's a B-. Come on, folks. Come on. B- is not a terrible grade. By no means. So.
Yeah, I love B-. I would have taken a B- in my physics class, chemistry class. I would take a B- all day long in any of those classes right there.
Yeah. So.
All right. So now we get to the running back room, JD, where we got to see a little bit more of Isaiah Pacheco this week. And we talked about last night. I did like obviously I wish the running backs would have gotten more touches and more carries, really. But I did like the series by series. They were going one series, Pacheco, one series, Hunt, and then third down was every time was P. Ryan. But I love that every drive was going back and forth between the two guys. And that's something that we talked about a couple weeks back, a couple months ago, that Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery kind of thing that we kind of had going yesterday. Obviously, we're not handing the ball off as much as they do, Detroit, but I did like that they had that going. That was cool to see.
Yeah, Pete Ryan gives us a little bit that, to me, was the reason we brought him in. That's why I was so happy to see a Pete Ryan come out there, because he is a solid blocker. That sucker came, man, lit him up. know Billy was talking about he looked like a Pez dispenser when when he came in and almost took his head off. And yeah, he did. And get watch your neck, shorten your neck up. But he got in front of him, and that's part of doing your job. That's one of them attaboys. Oh, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Caught the ball at the backfield, got a first down. P. Ryan is always he's a joy to me. Okay, because he's a very shifty runner. He catches the ball at the backfield and he can pass block. So he fits the role really well. Isaiah Pacheco coming in, getting the spark for us. Man, 14 attempts, 55 yards. You know, I wish we had given the ball to him a little bit more. Same to Kareem Hunt, only had 5 carries for 16 yards. Uh, you know me, I'm a run the ball. That's for me. That's what you got to do. And sometimes when you start wearing down defenses, especially pass rushers, you run the football. You know what DJ Humphries looked really good at, Marcus? Run blocking. He looked really good at run blocking. That was exceptional. Matter of fact, he looked like the old DJ Humphries. Okay, because in that space that you have a guy within that 1 or 2 yards that you engage with the defender immediately, you have better control of him as opposed to out in the space where you got to maneuver, move left to right, right? You got to be a little bit more athletic. And so DJ Humphries looked exceptional run blocking. Okay. Uh, that's when he looked like you could see him. He was kind of in his bag a little bit. You could see it. He was dumping on guys, pushing them over the pile. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I love seeing. And so getting the running backs a little bit more balls. Kareem Hunt looked great, man, running the football. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll get there. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there. Okay. But a few more runs, kind of establish your pass, helps out tremendously. So um, so we'll just have to see. But the running backs did a great job. I think they was real solid. I'm gonna give them a B. That's what they got from me.
Yeah, P. Ryan was awesome yesterday. I mean, even that one catch he had that looked like it was dead on arrival. I mean, he made that thing, gave us a first down there, and that was just telling because once you got that third level, those DBs were arm tackling. You ain't arm tackling Samaje P. Ryan, man. You got to do a whole lot more than what those two dudes were trying to do to him. But yeah, no, P. Ryan was fantastic, and I love, in the contrast, the whole Detroit Lions thing, where they leave D-Mod or Gibbs in there all 3 downs on whatever drive they have, unless one of them is like really gassed. They leave all of them in there. They were going first and second down was P. Ryan, first and second down was Hunt, and a third was P. Ryan every time, which I love that because that's his role and he's carved out a niche for himself. He's a Jerick McKinnon, but I would say more of a you could probably give it to, he could tote the rock 10 to 15 times a game, whereas McKinnon, they weren't, towards the end last year, they really weren't doing that with him anymore. They were giving like a couple touches as far as carries wise. You could, if need be, if anything ever happened to Pacheco and Hunt, you can give him the rock 15 to 20 times, and I'd be okay
Absolutely.
with
that. Yeah, absolutely. Very capable runner. Where Jet is a little bit more shifty. P. Ryan is he can maneuver, get around people. He can also run over folks. That's what he has about him. He has that bowling ball type of build to him. If he need to lower a shoulder and run over somebody, he can do it. He made that very abundantly clear when he hit Justin Reed in the mouth. When we played him when he was in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. So yeah, those guys, man, I gave him a B. Gave him a B.
Yeah. When it does get to the playoff time, when it's cold outside, and you got those 3 dudes, you can run Hunt, Pacheco, or P. Run at you. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be real tough.
Yeah, and it's gonna take. I like you said, that mix, different tempos of guys coming in. Pacheco, who's shiftier, fast feet, can get around you. Kareem Hunt, who's going to get the tough yards, and then you got P. Ryan, who's got a little bit of both. Could do it all, and all 3 of them can catch the ball out the backfield, man, to get yards for you. I think that's where they're really hard to bring down. When you get the ball to them, that's what I'm talking about, Marcus. It's the check down. Like Patrick, Pat, listen. maybe down the field is not there. You know who you need to chuck it down to? One of these guys. Let them go get the yards for him, okay? Let them go get the yards for him. And so we just need to reiterate that, you know? And so I know Pat's going to see it because when I'm watching the film, I'm like, okay, here's, man, swing pass. Throw it. Let him get loose out there in the flat. So
yeah, that's a good point. All three of them are all dynamic. So it's not like, oh, one comes in the game, oh, we're definitely throwing the ball. It's like, no, all three of those guys can catch and run with the rock. So it's a special RB group back there.
Yeah.
It's not getting talked about enough. And also the run blocking, which we'll get to the O-line, but I just find it funny. People just want to, like for Humphreys, all I've seen online today is his pass blocking grade. I have not seen one person post his stats, his numbers on the run block. It's all, oh, he had 44 snaps, and it was this amount of pressures, this amount of sacks. Like, I want to see how he did run blocking wise. Can you show me his PFF grades for that?
Well, see, Marcus, okay, this is why I have a problem with this. I have a problem with that, all right? I really do. The man's coming off an ACL, okay? It's coming off an ACL, which is hard to do in the National Football League against some of the best pass rushers in the business that's in the game. You're going to talk about his pass blocking ability? Come on, man. This guy hadn't had, he hadn't had no fire in a while since last year. So why did we expect for him to come in and just all of a sudden just be this monster of a pass blocker? Like, I thought that was, unrealistic. For me, I'm like, oh, okay. We'll have to see, right? I said this, Andy was even saying, hey, look, we're going to see who's going to start. We're going to have to find out. He wanted to get a feel exactly where he was, okay? This was the game to kind of see it. It's like, we're going to give you a tough task off the jump, off the start, okay? Probably one of the top 5 pass rusher teams in the business. As far as pure pass rushers, without a doubt, without a question, it's the Chargers. So everybody talking about his pass, come on, man. Then y'all not being real with yourself. Sorry.
Craziness.
Y'all don't understand what it takes to get back on the field after the ACL. A minute who was going to take him a year to get back. And he's out there, but he still needs to get to the point where he's going to start generating things. It's going to take time. It's going to take time, man. So that upsets me. Oh, it's pass blocking. Okay. Well, you can do an ACL and they come out there and try to do it.
Yeah. And also, too, if you're going to post that stat, well, maybe our play caller shouldn't be calling as many pass attempts as they are. Okay. I mean, if his pass blocking, his numbers weren't that good, then why is he out there? A, and B, why are we passing as much as we are? But yeah, it's weird. I never see the run grades anymore. I never see the run stats.
Well, that's why I hate when sometimes we do some of these grades because nobody encompasses everything. They just don't. And not to knock anything, but when I'm coaching, I'm evaluating everything. A guy might think he had a great game. He may think oh man, I've been killing it. Well, shoot, there's some things you need to work on. Yeah, you got the block. Yeah, coach, I made the block. Yeah, you did, but shoot, your technique was horrible. Because that'll get you beat the very next week. And it'll get somebody hurt the very next week. So don't give me none of that. Well, coach, I made a block mess. I had to get on a guy one time, man. I remember a dude said it to me in a film one time. Man, I flipped the light on. It's like, listen, I'm going to tell you something. And I got in his tail, then I just got on everybody. So everybody understood exactly what the standard is, all right? Yeah, you got your block. But your fundamentals of technique was flawed. It was flawed in why we did it, okay? It's good to look at some things, right? Because some things may be unconventional. We're unconventional on maybe catching the ball and Pat is doing some things right and it's worked out well for us, okay? But sometimes those things that's unconventional could get you in the position to lose you the game or get somebody hurt, okay? Where all of a sudden you don't beat this guy. You know why? Because somebody's watching your film from last week, seeing it was unconventional, that you're not technically and fundamentally sound, and he's going to exploit it. So that's the coaching. That's what I'm getting into. So we understand it, all right? let me calm down because I'm getting my coaching hat on right now, and I feel like I'm talking. Sure.
Well, it's a great show, JD. We love seeing the coach and come out and yeah.
Yeah, but well, I'm just saying, like, I'm just emphasizing the point that okay, sure, okay, and effort and all of that. I'm gonna give attaboys for effort and doing things, but it's still teaching moments, still teaching moments there that we have to deal with, okay, because we always want to be fundamentally and technical sound on doing things. We want to. Why? Because it's going to win it more than lose. When you're doing those things, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be in a better position than you were than saying, "Well, I was able to do my thing." All right, okay. Well, that'll get somebody fired. And some coaches say it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
GP laughing at me.
Yeah, Mike said Rick, no one brought the teacher an apple on grade day. And Witchy Hall brought you all the apple emojis you can get right there.
Thanks, Witchy. I appreciate it. Hey man, look, I'm in my coaching mode right here. I'm calling it like I see it, man. I have to. I got to keep my skills sharp.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.